You know how people count sheep to go to sleep?
Mm-hmm.
I once tried to count the people I was in love with and fell asleep in the middle after 320 something. I was still young, so those were crushes, really. I mean, they seemed like love then. But if you want to include them, yeah, there was some really cool guys in England.
Okay.
But
what age was the first one? I mean, the first crush that you remember. Oh, that's young.
That's Mick. That's the story of Mick.
You can tell the story of Mick if you want, because it's a crush that actually persisted for quite long.
Mick was 5 years older than me, and we were in art class, and he came in. He shouldn't have been in the class. I don't know what he was doing in there. We were, juniors, and everything. And this senior comes in, and he has all the attributes that I love, and they are blue eyes to die for, blonde hair, it sort of falls over like that, and actually a little bit stocky, so his nickname was Pudding. It was quite nice, Pud.
Okay.
Oh, Pud. So we had a really special relationship because he actually was born in Israel. His grandmother was a Holocaust survivor, and in 1948 his father was killed in the War of Independence, and his mother and grandmother went to live in England.
Mm.
So he grew up in England, but he grew up with the Holocaust in the background and with a history from here.
Yeah.
And growing up without a father and with a crazy grandmother and that kind of thing, so he was a little bit different from most boys. And he would gamble, and now I'm one of the Miss Goody Goody proper and everything. Don't do anything I shouldn't, God forbid. And he's this wayward, thing that, oh, hang on, I'll just go and place a bet and I'll be back in a moment. So it was a very special relationship, and he would sort of protect me and everything, and it was a really nice thing because he had a car because he's 5 years older. So if I had to get to a boyfriend on the other side of London, he actually would take me.
A boyfriend?
Another boyfriend, because, I was 13 by then. Remember, I met him when I was 11. So, we were like brother and sister sort of thing.
So you never moved out of the friend zone?
I did, but he decided that he had to protect me. So he was only going to be Mr. Nice, and for me, he was like a big brother. I mean, I would have loved to have gone to bed with him right then and there, but he wasn't going to do that. So.
Okay.
So he was my first great love, and I knew that he was the one I wanted to marry. I knew. So, it would be this on and off thing. And I would have a boyfriend, and I would go back to him, we'd go out together, and he would take me to all these really great restaurants and everything, and he would drink Cointreau. So I always have a bottle of Cointreau to remember him.
Wow. Hey, that's hardcore. I mean, that's like more than 50 years ago.
Yeah, I loved him.
Where is he now?
So, in the war...
Which one?
In 67. 67.
1 minute. No, yeah, okay. In the war, 67?
Yeah, because he actually was Israeli, he volunteered to come to the army, and they accepted, and then he came to look for me, because he didn't come with when we came, and he came to look for me, and he found me. Okay, I don't know how he found me. And so we started going out proper, like boyfriend and girlfriend, and he would sleep with best friends of my parents, Jesse and Harry, when he came back from army duty and everything. And one day, he began to tell me a story about what happened in Gaza and how there's a cat. Can you just bring the food in? I can't have that cat eating my meat. Sorry, Pud, I'll get back to you in one moment, but I really... Oh, shit.
Okay.
So he was telling me this story where they were supposed to keep everybody in order and they had to change their money in Gaza from Jordanian or whatever they were using Egyptian or whatever they were using to Israeli money. And a woman came out of the crowd and they were supposed to control the crowd, so he pushed her back and he actually pushed her down. Mm-hmm. And she fell over, and when she fell over, he saw she was pregnant. And he really took it badly. You know, he just knocked over a pregnant woman. And he didn't see her as a Gazan or as an Arab, a woman who's pregnant. And he said, and I'm going to have to accept it, he said that it broke him. And we talked a little bit more about all kinds of things, but the next thing that happened was he disappeared. He just took his stuff and he went. So I put two and two together and I reckoned he'd gone back to England. So I got on a plane and I went back to England.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
And I went to stay with my Auntie Gertie, who I loved anyway. I mean, she was more of a mum to me than anybody else. Okay. You know, when you need soothing, you go to her and she gives you cabbage salad that only she can make and that sort of thing. And she now was living on her own and she had this beautiful apartment that her kids paid for her. And I went to stay with her. And I told her the story and that I come back and I'm going to go and look for him. And then a day or two later, I went to his house. Needless to say, I got another boyfriend to take me to his house. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So I get to his house and he's not there. So at the same time, I actually had taken some paintings with me that I wanted to see if I could get into a gallery there or something. And I went with those paintings, I remember, to this gallery, and I sat in Russell Square and everything. And I couldn't get the paintings into any galleries there. And paintings were rubbish. I don't know why I thought I could do that. And then I came back to my Auntie Gertie. And when I got to her, she said, Mick was just here. He just left. Like I missed him with sliding doors. If I'd have stayed with my aunt, not gone out, not gone to look for him, he would have found me. But I went to look for him, and he came to look for me, and we missed each other. And for some reason known only to me, this was like a shirt. This was how it's supposed to be. That is, we weren't supposed to meet. Because I believed in that fatalistic thing, you know. Mm-hmm. So I decided to come back to Israel and do the guide course. And that's what I did.
Do you know where he is today? Is he even alive? I mean, what happened with him? I mean, you must have...
I do know what happened to him, but I don't know what happened to him. So I had very dark brown hair, as you know, like in the picture in the other room. But somewhere along, when I left Joe or something, I dyed my hair blonde and I changed, and I just looked completely different. Mm-hmm. And one day I saw him, and I went up to him and I said, "You had a grandmother who was a Holocaust survivor." He said, "How did you know that?" And he did not recognize me.
No way.
He did not recognize me.
How many years have passed between them?
It must be 20, 30 years.
Oh, well, okay. So.
Okay, but I recognized him straight away.
Okay.
Couldn't mistake that face. So, and then I said, you were born here, but you went to live in England. And I know which school you went to. And he was like, or he's a very good actor, and he knew and didn't want to own up for some reason, or he really didn't know. In all event, because he didn't want to own up, I decided that that was it, you know, it's finished. I came home, and that was when I threw all the photos away and all the letters and everything that reminded me of him. Everything for the first time got thrown out. I kept it all those years. And that was the end of the story. I really thought I was going to marry him. I really did. I mean, I thought so when I was at school, and when he turned up in the middle of the aftermath of war and everything.